sleeping lately. I just keep having dreams, you know. Sometimes you have dreams, wake you up, you know? You ever have that problem? Mm-hmm. It's the same dream over and over that just wakes you up a few times a night, sometimes more. Some of them are nice. I mean, like I had this one dream. I have it every once in a while. I wish I had it more lately, but it was my grandfather, and he takes me to this spot in the Sierra. And there's this valley, and the Conservation Corps built a campground, and he tells me all about it and how he's been going there since the 30s, and this is where he slept. And I've been going back to that spot, I don't know, like 15, 20 times. And I've explored the whole area, and I know exactly where it is. There's just south of Fresno, and you go up into the mountains, and then there's the town, and then there's this other little town to the north where all the rich people live, but there's the market and the park, and then if you keep going up, there's a lake, and you can go up around to the side, and there's the valley where we camp. But if you keep going up, that's where you get to the backcountry, the high mountains and the glaciers, and it's amazing. I mean, I've been there so much in my dreams. I know it better than places I've been in real life, and I don't know if it's real. I kind of think it isn't, but if I ever find it, I mean, that's my spot. I'm gonna have to, like, that's how I'm gonna be buried there. Or there's this one dream where, so in the 70s, my dad was a bureaucrat in Sacramento, and Jerry Brown was governor the first time. And I had a dream. I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, and Jerry Brown got in a fight with the governor of Ohio. And it got really bad, and they started arguing, and I think it was on TV or something, and then at a certain point he's like, that's it. And he declared war on Ohio. California versus Ohio. And I mean, I guess all the states in between gave passage, and they were able to march all the way to California. But I just remember being like 9 years old in my house, and it's dark, and we've got, the windows are blacked out because they're coming. And I'm watching my dad put on this bright green California Army uniform, and he goes out to join everybody on the front line. And we're left helpless there, you know, women and children in the neighborhood. And I'm like looking between the gaps in the houses, trying to see, they've got bright orange uniforms for some reason. And finally I see them coming, and I go and hide in my bedroom, and they round everybody up, all the women and children, and I'm in there, and I'm hiding, and I see my mom and my sisters marched down the hall, and then I see their commander in his bright orange uniform, and it's Donald Sutherland. And so I sneak outside because I think they're going to take my family out to the backyard to execute them. And I run outside, and there's the picnic table, the patio furniture. It's heaped with weapons. And I grab a submachine gun, and and he sees me, and he grabs a submachine gun, and we start running all over the backyard shooting at each other. But you know how in a dream, if you're trying to run, but you can't, and you're just like, I gotta get away from or you try to punch somebody, you can't even keep your eyes open. And that's how it was with the machine guns. They were like water pistols, and I was, trying to shoot them, but the bullets would drop, and I couldn't even. I was like flicking them, trying to get them over Donald Sutherland, because if it touched him, he'd die, but they wouldn't. And so finally, he realizes this before I, he throws down his gun, he goes and he gets a knife from the table, and he comes back, and he's slashing. He's just all over my body. It's like hot wire, just horrible feeling. And and I push him away, and I grab a knife, and as I turn, he's on me, and I, right in his forehead, big butcher knife, and he dies and falls over, dead. And that's the first time I killed Donald Sutherland in my career. I've killed him like, I don't know, 6 times. Sometimes he kills me. It's horrible. Yeah, once in college, my girlfriend, her best friend dated Kiefer Sutherland. And they were on the phone, and I said, hey, tell Julia I've had all these dreams. Have her tell Kiefer I've had all these dreams that I've been killing his dad. And she does. And it comes back and she goes, Kiefer said he's had more. But this one dream, I just can't stop having it. 5 times a night lately, and it's just... So, you know, there's that old cathedral on Van Ness and Broadway, St. Bridget's, you know, and it's been closed for a long time. So, I have never been in this cathedral. Not in real life, but in my dreams. Go down the aisle, almost all the way up to the front, walk down the pew, second from the front, go almost all the way to the end, the seat right before the end, that's my spot. And I'm a little boy in a blazer and shorts and Sunday best kind of stuff, and I'm watching everybody line up for communion, and I don't want to do it because I don't know, I don't really believe, and the whole transubstantiation, the body and the blood, I don't know, it doesn't seem like this is the right thing for me, and so I'm filled with anxiety about it, and I'm shifting in my seat, and the flagstone under my feet is rocking, and the more it rocks, the less I pay attention to what's going on around me, and the more I just focus on that flagstone. And finally, I get my fingers in the cracks, and I'm able to peel it up. And when I do that in my dream, it's so dark. It's so empty down there. And it just rushes up, and I'm in it. I'm in the emptiness. And I'm filled with loss, just the worst, you know that, just despair. Like you used to have this idea, you used to know about this other world, this other great world that you lived in, but it's gone. It's gone. And I just keep having that dream. So I couldn't take it anymore. I woke up this morning and I went to St. Bridget's. I broke in. I walked down the aisle to the second pew from the front, and I went down the pew to the second one on the end. And there was a flagstone there. I pulled it up. It wasn't empty, though. It was... This was simple. And I've just been walking around all day. I haven't looked in it or anything. What do you do when your dreams come to life like that? not a very brave man. But I thought this would be a good place. These papers. October 15th, 1962. You aren't who you think you are. Read the previous letters. That's my handwriting. No, I'm not a very interesting man. This doesn't happen. February 12th, 1913. You're a very interesting man. Brilliant, even. The bravest man who ever lived. It's quite easy to forget who you have been and how this all began, but you taught yourself to dream again, didn't you? And the dreams drove you nearly mad, didn't they? And now you wonder if anything you ever known is real. It's crazy. This has been a hard life, harder than most. What? March 25, 1865. Last night I dreamt I was a hoplite dodging arrows beneath a clay wall. The dream was as vivid as daylight. Today I was possessed of an overwhelming need to excavate St. George's Well in search of this leaded case. Finding it has riven my soul. What's going on? March 11th, 1806. At last I have found it. My tortured days finally find surcease. The dreams have driven me to madness for years. A particular manor wall that I needed to tear down. How the need has assaulted me and driven me across the ocean here to this fortified march in the Languedoc while the little emperor marches on Naples. I've worked as a demon works and saved as a miser saves, and finally purchased my passage and approached the ruins of the manor as a man of means. Now I am nothing but ash. As all previous letters are in differing varieties of French, I have paid for the services of an elderly bilingual clerk. I will provide a summary in English here, for I cannot wait to quit this godforsaken continent at war and return to the peace of Ontario. What you did for love. For the love of your beautiful wife, Aud, and children, Chrysis, Ebel, and Ket. You only wanted to live long enough to see them grow. But you were already old, and Aud was quite young. She never knew you secretly practiced dark arts, minor sorceries. But now you would cheat death. A compact with a demon was made for life eternal. Yet demons twist their words. You had an expectation of living in sustained youth, but you succumbed to age soon after. Alas, you did not die. Aud found you in your bed, shrinking, returning to the form of a child. Your life began again from infancy. Memories wiped clean from your head. You grew again as a child in your own house. Chrysis, wise girl, tall and strong. She married the temple guard and bore fine children. Now your daughter was your eldest sister, her children your playmates. Ebel traveled to the port to work on ships. He took 3 wives and became a merchant at the wharves. His people grew into a clan that made the port town into a port city. Ket, your favorite, married Hunu, and all your woe derives from that. Hunu was like you, a man drawn to the mystery and power of the dark arts, but he was a soldier as well. He loved beautiful Ket, but broke her with childbearing. All of her children were weak people and soft. Most died before they reached a full year, but they were clever. And after Chrysis died of old age, the children of Hunu and Ket arrived in the port city and slew the children of Abel. They sacked the city and burned it, then made their way to the temple where they sacrificed every child of Chrysis on the altar. Then you were left in the world with no Aud in it. Your children and their children were all dead. All but the hateful progeny of Hunu and Ket. The world which had been too bright and beautiful to ever leave now became too deformed to remain in. And thus the demon exacted his revenge and supped on your suffering. He has been growing fat on it ever since. You have lived 100 lifetimes in this crippled world. 8,000 years. You cannot die, no matter how hard you try. Your name is Canisius. No, my name's Kevin. Stop looking at me.